Okay. I'm with Terry Baum. I'm Carol Harvey, and I'm asking Terry, who's running for mayor in November 2011, why do you think it's important to run as a woman?
Well, one of the reasons it's important is that women are incredibly underrepresented in San Francisco as candidates for elective office. In fact, I don't know exactly how many people have stated an intention to run yet. We're not done with the nomination period, so we don't really know exactly who is going to actually run. But when I looked last time, 38 people had signed up to run, and 5 of them were women. Only 5. And we have such a lack of women participating and being elected in city government. It's very strange. I mean, what is going on? What I think is going on, quite frankly, is that electoral politics is a very macho environment. It's very competitive. It's rough. It's tough. It's hard for me, frankly, sometimes. I just feel like people are, this is a blood sport, so to speak. Even at whatever level you're on, there are real stakes, and people care, and they're making heavy choices, and there's betrayals, and it's painful, and it's difficult. And we women have not been brought up to confront those things and deal with those things. And I find it hard myself sometimes. It's not something that comes naturally to me. I get very upset sometimes at people and people say, oh, you have to become calloused. You have to become tough. You have to have a thick skin. I don't want to have a thick skin. I never want to develop a thick skin, but I want to develop the resilience to be involved in politics. And I really feel that a lot more women have to step forward and do it, because the climate of politics will never change as long as there are so few women. I mean, look what happened in the most recent Supreme Court decision about Walmart. The only people who understood what was going on were the 3 women who voted against throwing out that class action lawsuit that women had brought against Walmart. And it was absolutely an outrage that it was thrown out. It was like a technicality, really, just playing with words to throw it out. And those women had the compassion to understand what was going on. And I felt
in a way that men would not be able to.
That's right. They didn't. I felt proud to be a woman at that moment. I really did. Mm-hmm. And I want more women to run for office. It's very important. And also I think it's important to note that we don't have any lesbians in office, and we haven't had any lesbians in office since Susan Leal stopped being treasurer in 2003. So that's 8 years with no lesbians being represented in city government. And I think that lesbians have to wake up. I'm not exactly sure what our special interests are. What are the special interests of Chinese people, other than what goes on in Chinatown? But they want to have Chinese people representing them, for gosh sake, in city government, and it's happening, and that's positive. Why are we lesbians willing to just literally disappear from electoral politics? That is something that we as lesbians have to look at. And why don't we support lesbian candidates? We don't. I'm not saying that people should vote in terms of demographics. I really don't. I mean, you really need to choose somebody, or at least I believe, on the issues ultimately. But certainly you should give special consideration to people who represent your demographic.
Let's put it this way. Women are a huge demographic,
that's right,
and only those Supreme Court justices could truly understand women's issues. Lesbians are a huge demographic, and only lesbians can, and especially in San Francisco, where the gay community is so strong, for there not to be a lesbian candidate all that entire group of people is not having their interests represented. The same for other marginalized groups.
That's right. And yes, it's true. Women have less money. Women know people with less money, and nobody has as little money as lesbians. That's the truth. But so what? So we should run anyhow. And in fact, I got my existence obliterated today in an email that Bevan Dufty sent out, urging his supporters. He sent out this mass e-blast urging his supporters to help him raise more than $1 million by June 30th. Can you believe that to be a serious candidate in this campaign, you have to have $1 million 4 months before the election? It's obscene. Anyhow, he wanted people to contribute because he's the only LGBT candidate. He knows damn well who I am. And if he's looked at the list, he knows I'm in the race. But yet, he actually erased my identity as a candidate because I don't have much money. And that's what, I wrote him a letter immediately, haven't heard from him yet, back from him. And I said, in a democracy, it's not a matter of how much money you have. You can run if you go through the process to become a candidate. And I am doing that, and I am going to continue to do that. And that's the kind of sort of offhand dismissal that I got as a woman and as a lesbian by a, quote, brother, unquote, who is approaching $1 million in donations.
And that's the kind of offhand reaction by any man in politics to any woman in
That's
politics.
Right. Yes, people have laughed at me, and I have to say, it affected me at first. It shook me. But I have also talked to so many people who are excited about what I stand for, and also so many people, not necessarily lesbians, who are excited about the idea of a green lesbian mayor. So that is strengthening me, and that is making me feel that my candidacy is really important, and I want to win. I'm not asking for your number 2 vote or your number 3 vote because, oh yeah, you think some of my ideas are cool. No, I want to be mayor of San Francisco. I want your number 1 choice.